Hi there, Taurus. How are you guys doing? I really hope that this video finds you well. Welcome to your weekly reading back with me again. Anisa from the Stereo. For those of you who are in my channel, hello. And for those of you who have been a long time, welcome back. So we're going to be doing a pick card reading by the end of the session. It's going to be how do they feel about you. And don't forget to check your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign. Me personally, I realize that with my readings and all general readings out there on YouTube, that I tend to resonate a lot more with my Venus sign rather than my sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or what have you. So you might want to check that one out too. And this is general reading, so the roles might get reversed, all right? So, Taurus, to be honest with you, I actually did your reading yesterday, but for some reasons, the audio was not really working, and no matter how hard I tried to edit it and everything like that, it's just not working. So let's just redo it. Maybe that message wasn't for you, or it was not perfectly timed. So what is your overall energy for the now? You have the Knight of Cups in reverse, you have the Queen of Pentacles, and you also have the Page of Swords in reverse. So I feel that in this 1 week to come, especially from the 1st to 7th of December, you guys are going to be focusing a lot more on your money, your career, and financial responsibilities and whatnot. You try to create like a much more stable ground for you. When it comes to love, there's like a lot of things in here that you're really wanting to protest. I feel that you really are trying to make a point, and those points are the ones that leads you to not willing to extend your effort, you know, your offer of love, because you got the Nine of Cups in reverse in here. You're basically now is on your shell. You guys are on your defense. You're kind of like carrying a lot more on your own security than other people's security. What is the overall challenge of this relationship? You have the Ace of Wands here. So Ace of Wands talks about stunted growth, things that you in the past was so eager and excited to see it flourish, to see it blossom into something that is good. And when you were in that mood, you feel like extremely passionate about it. It was like, oh wow, like I feel so greatly about this, I feel so strongly about this. But sadly, it turns out to be a stunted growth. Ace of Wands in the overall challenge sometimes also signifies, you know, something that starts with the hottest beginning and then it ends with the coldest ending. And the second one is that you have the Four of Wands there as the overall challenge. So the relationship that you're having right now, especially if you guys are only dealing with one person, it just doesn't give you that, you know, that feeling that you want to celebrate it, the feeling that you want to be proud of that relationship at this moment. You don't want to celebrate it. It's missing the fun factor as well. It's missing the, you know, two people together and just kind of like having fun, living their best life together and everything like that. It's missing that right now. So what is the overall challenge? The past. So this person has the Five of Cups, and also they have the Justice card in reverse. And from your side, you have the Knight of Pentacles, and then you also have the Death card. You were trying to be extremely helpful for this person. I feel that in the past, the person that you're dealing with, they were going through something that they regret, or it could possibly be that they're also blaming themselves for how the relationship went on and everything like that. And you tried to be very nice about it by being the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is a Mars and Virgo card. It talks about an act of services, of wanting to help, of willing to extend or helping hand to other people so that this person kind of like can get back up. But I feel that you guys are kind of like getting extremely tired of always needing to help, always needing to support, always needing to serve and not getting anything in return. So you have the Death card, so you kind of like wanted to transform on how you view this relationship in general. You feel that there is a certain things that needs to change. However, in the past, you guys were still very much optimistic about this, though. You have the Three of Wands. You're like, okay, I'm very positive about how things are going right now. But, you know, in the past, the person that you're dealing with, especially if you guys are only being one person, this person was not in their best judgment, because there's like a lot of things that is going on aside of the relationship problem as well. Hangman. So what they're doing right now is that they're trying to study. They're trying to study everything in terms of life, in terms of maybe their career, in terms of your relationship. They're trying to study. They're trying to develop themselves a lot more. They're actually willing to put in the work in this relationship too, though. They're working on self-development. Good. Six of Swords in reverse. Eight of Wands, and then the Seven of Cups. So it's a bit hot and cold. It's a bit on and off, and sometimes it's kind of like giving you mixed signals. You don't really know how to read things correctly when it comes to this relationship, because there are often times where this person is backing up and probably either giving you a silent treatment, or maybe they're just being distance, and everything like that. And then you guys got so overwhelmed, but then the time where they're putting in the work into the relationship, you guys are like, Seven of Cups, like you just don't know, like you're just not really sure. You're not really sure how the other person is feeling about you, what their intentions are, right? Do they mean it? But we'll have to see the pick a card reading for this one to be answered, Taurus, to be honest with you, because this is a general reading, so it's not a one size fit all. That means 5 cards in the future. 10 of Wands, 5 of Wands. Yeah, this person is struggling. This person is dealing with a lot in their life. Not only just relationship. 7 of Wands. 8 of Cups, and then you. Kenapa yang bikin sih? You do have like a lot of trust issues, right? Because I'm trying to clarify, I'm trying to get into the root of the problem here of why is it that, what confuses you about this relationship. But again, I think we have to see the bigger card because it's not a one size fit all. But in general, you guys have the 9 of Wands in here. That explains the 7 of Cups. That explains the confusion that you don't know if this person is actually a gift or a curse, or what this person's intentions to you and everything like that. And one of the key factor of those confusions is you guys having this trust issue. So I feel that probably with this person, or maybe with your past person in your love journey in general, that you've been disappointed over and over and over again, that every time now that you're trying to invest in a relationship or in somebody, you do have this trust issues. What if I work on this? What if I give it a try? What if I trust this person and then this person is going to end up hurting me even more? If this is like a relationship that has only been going on for like 1 month or 3 months and not really passing 1 year, I think, relationship is going to hurt. You know what I mean? Like I believe, like, even if you ask people who had like a successful marriage for 75 years, of course they've been hurt before, because you're dealing with you're basically meeting two people with two different personalities, with two different goals, with two different wants and needs in a relationship. Of course there's like a little bit of a hurt. So there's a decision to be made there. And believe me, Taurus, especially if you guys are just like kind of like new to dating and this is a new person, bad people are everywhere. Assholes, jerks, players, narcissists are everywhere. But good people are everywhere too. It's just a matter of you deciding, which type of people that you want. So what is going to happen in the future? You guys are going to be wanting to have something more in this relationship. But I feel that for them, especially if you guys... I think I'm going to cut this off because there's like somebody who's playing music loudly. Yeah, be right back. All right, guys, sorry. There was like a musician in front of my house asking for money, so I just kind of like have to wait it out for a little bit. But let's get back into your reading. So I feel that this relationship, especially if you guys are only one person, it could get quite a little bit lonely in this relationship, simply because this person is, they're passive, and then they're doing like a little bit of an active service, and then they're passive yet again. And I feel that you guys wanted to kind of like connect them more on an emotional basis as well. If this is like a relationship that has been going on for quite a while, I feel that this is like a recurring cycle where you try to leave, and then something always leads you back to them, and then they also try to leave, and then something always leads them back to you, and everything like that. So it's like a recurring cycle over and over again. Yes, there had been things that were done in the past by them that was also injustice and unfair for you guys, and you feel that the need to transform out of this cycle. So it's kind of like normal. But the thing is that I kind of like see in the future that you guys are going to then try to emotionally walk away, either for permanently or temporarily. But there's going to be a time in the future where you're going to be emotionally walking away from this relationship. And then once you guys distance yourself and try not to care that much, putting like a lot of your energy into this relationship, is then going to be the time where this person is then going to be trying to put in more effort and work into this relationship. But is it a little too late for you? It kind of like depends. We'll see the bigger card reading. Especially since, you know, the next week, especially from the 1st to 7th of December, there's going to be like a lot of people who is asking a lot of you. So it's like your job or your career is asking a lot of you, your friends is asking a lot of you, your family is then also going to want to some of your help or some of your attentions and everything like that. So it's very, very necessary, Taurus, that in this week, you know, you need to have some time off of yourself and allocate some of those times to just like meditate and contemplate by yourself. Because otherwise you're going to get drained. On the positive side though, there's going to be a luck coming in your way. And I think it has nothing to do with relationship at all. I think it might be some luck somewhere, like maybe like a new job opportunities or like money making opportunities, or like you just going to have this luck. And then because you have some things that going to divert your focus outside of the relationship, it's then going to make you easier to then distance yourself emotionally from this relationship as well. But once you distance yourself emotionally from this relationship is then the moment where this person is then going to try to put in more effort and work into this relationship. And then you guys are going to be like, it's kind of like too late. Like, where were you when I was in the midst of confusion? Where were you when I was feeling so strongly about this, and then you left me confused all the time? The thing is that depending on how your pick a card reading goes or went, all right? So I think you go to the big card reading and then you go back here again. Because if it's a positive pick a card reading, then all the things that I just told you earlier is for you. However, if it's a negative pick a card reading, this is the interpretations, all right? Remember when I said that you guys are going to acquire some luck elsewhere? Yeah? Because things has been going on extremely bad for their life in general, when they see you having something to celebrate on, having some success or having some luck into your life, and then everybody is celebrating it for you, they then are going to try to be a Debbie Downer because they're just jealous of this new found luck that you're having. And that's going to just kind of like, it's going to put more and more, I'm not going to say pressure, but it's just like, yeah, you know what? Like I'm getting so much luck into my life and you're just not worthy. You're just a Debbie Downer. You're negative energy in my life that I don't want you around me anymore. That's going to be your energy if your pick a card reading turns out to be a negative one. Okay? Yep, so I think that is it for my reading for you, Taurus. This I'm going to be putting a timestamp right over here to when the big card reading starts. Now let's move on to the two people scenarios. So if you guys are dealing with two people, person A is somebody who you have always tried to help, tried to extend and offer a hand of help, because this person is just, I don't know, I think like this person had like a lot of problem emotionally as well and mentally as well. They just went through a loss, and then you try to help them, and then in the now you feel that this person is just unthankful and ungrateful for all the help that you've given them. And especially since in the now this person is just not doing anything, they're just like a passive participant of this relationship. And there's like a lot of realizations that is going to be dawn upon you, and there's going to be like a lot of informations that you're going to be receiving that probably is going to be a little bit overwhelming. And every time you either try or not try to ask this person about it, this person is just silent. So what is going on in the future is that you're done with somebody who just has like this type of taking energy, and I feel that you're going to be emotionally walking away from this person. And this person is then going to try to work things through with you when you left the connection. And then person B is just somebody who has just been kind of like quite unfair to you, to be honest with you. And I feel that you in the past, you guys were like, not worthy. I don't think I'm going to give this person any time of the day. But what is confusing for you is that in the now, this person is starting to put in the work and effort. And it's just kind of like making you like, why here? Why now? Why all of a sudden? Right? Person B is a negative person. I don't know why you're even confused with this person, Taurus. Yeah, see? This person doesn't even know what they want. It's just somebody who likes conflicts. It's just somebody who likes it, who likes some dramas in their life. I mean, like if you're the type of person who enjoys having a relationship that is up and down, who is kind of like quite turbulent, the high is high, and then the low is low, you're feeling the happiest person in the whole wide world, and then you feel like the saddest, most shitty person in the whole wide world, then probably person B is for you. But to be honest with you, like, I don't even need a pick a card reading for this, but this person is just not good, especially since no, it's just not good. You know, mental manipulations at its finest. Because remember when I said it's kind of like still ring the same bell with the one person scenarios where you guys are going to have some luck and some opportunities elsewhere, and this person is just going to make you feel as if like you're not going to be able to celebrate those luck that is coming in your way. You try to be positive, you try to be a good person, but this person is even worse than person A, trust me, honey. All right, now let's move on to the pick a card reading, Taurus. All right, so I have 4 piles of cards with me now. This is pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, this is pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds of full silence so that you guys can concentrate. 1 pile of card for 1 person. Don't pick multiple pile of card for 1 person because you're going to end up getting confused, all right? If you have multiple people to ask, it's okay, but 1 pile of card for 1 person, okay? Let's go. Okay, let's do it. So for those of you who chose pile number 1, have the 6 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords. I'm using the Victorian Romantic Tarot by Baba Studio here. 2 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, and then the 10 of Cups. Okay, so what does this person feels about you? What you need to understand is that when you come into their life, you introduces them to something new, because this idea of the 10 of Cups is foreign to them. You know, a happy family that is always about taking care of each other's emotionally. You know, a family who does care about their mental and emotional well-being and everything like that. This idea is very foreign to them because they were raised in a condition, or they were raised in an environment where they kind of like need to bottle up their emotions, because what is perceived, or their public image, or the public image of the family is extremely important. So every time they try to speak up their voice, every time they try to express themselves, their parents or like their siblings or people around them, or this is something that they have learned. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to show so much emotions. You're supposed to show to the whole wide world that you got everything under control. Yeah? If you have emotional problems, if you have mental problems, if you have something that is stressing you out, if you have something that makes you depressed or something that makes you extremely sad, train yourself so that you could toughen it up. There was no room for them to complain. There was no room for them to express these emotions. So having an intimate relationship with another human being then becomes something that is very, very scary. Because why? Because they need to be vulnerable in order to make the relationship work, right? And that vulnerability was never taught upon them. They never really get to learn them in the environment that they grew up in. And this was something that was taught to them. You know, suck it up, toughen it up. Nothing wrong about it. That was what was taught to them. That was kind of like the lessons that they've learned ever since they were little. So vulnerability, showing, you know, how our emotions are, showing our care for other people, showing that we empathize about people, or even crying is a weakness. So how do they feel about you, Taurus? There is a conflict going on in here within them, yeah? One part of them really want to go to the most familiar route, whereas, okay, let's just take care about the mundane matters. As long as we pay the bill, as long as we do things on a daily basis that's going to then make the relationship work, as long as our children is happy, I'm happy financially, you're happy financially, all of those mundane things, all of those worldly things is covered up, and there's no reason for us to be talking about anything other than that. It could be quite direct, it could be quite stiff, it could be quite unempathic, you know what I mean? Do they love you? They do, but they're kind of like stuck in that cycle. They're stuck in that narrative. They're stuck in that environment that they grew up in. So being vulnerable is very, very hard for them. This is a typical case of an avoidant person. So you might be dealing with somebody who is like extremely avoidant, who doesn't really want to talk about how they feel about a certain things, doesn't really want to express things. Everything is just direct. Everything, as long as we have meal on the table, as long as the bills are paid in time, as long as we still have electricities in our house, you know, as long as my career is doing great, everything is good. So everything on the surface is good. But I think you are the type of people who are very, very emotional and very, who likes to build some sort of emotional connections with other people. And you kind of like find it hard to get into them. Are they eyeing the possibilities of this Ten of Cups? They are. But like 60% of them is still kind of like stuck in that way of growing up, or in the, you know, what shaped them, what molded them all these years. It's hard to get out of that, you know what I mean? It has become a part of their personality. And usually avoidant people like this likes to attract an anxious person. So you might be an anxious person in this relationship. So what can you do about this if you are really serious about making this work, and then if you feel that this person is worth the investment, is worth to work on, is that you need to make yourself to become a secure person, not as anxious as before, and then themselves, you need to kind of like encourage them to start expressing their emotions, to start encouraging them to be much more vulnerable with you, because you're not going to be punishing them for their vulnerabilities. You're not going to be punishing them, or you're not going to embarrass them because of those vulnerabilities that they might have. So they might have done something fucked up in the future, in the past, and then they probably tell you. And then when they tell you, well, just kind of like, oh, wow, I really appreciate your honesty, but that was something that you were in the past, right? Don't use it as an ammo against them every time you guys are going to be in an argument, because it's then going to make them more and more shut off. Yeah? You need to encourage them to to get used to being vulnerable to you, that they know that they can trust you with their emotions and with their mental being, because they have a good intention, but it's quite hard doing something entirely different from what you have been doing for the past, for the rest of their lives, you know, before they met you. Okay, so that is it if you guys are dealing with one for pile number 1. Now let's move on to those of you who chose pile number 2. 6 of Swords, King of Swords, 3 of Wands, 8 of Cups. What can I say, Taurus? You're dealing with somebody who really likes to play the victim. And one of the reasons why they're doing this is because they're attaching their intellectuals, or they're attaching their perceptions so closely towards their ego. So it's something that they're so proud of. You know, the fact that they might be thinking differently than other people, the fact that they might be very, very intellectual. This is what they think. This is what they believe in. Yeah? And I feel that there has been like an argument, or you guys probably rebelling against them. They kind of like take it in as an insult towards their intelligence. So they might back away with the 6 of Swords there. They might be moving like extremely slow as well, because they're an overthinker. They like to think. There's actually 2 scenarios, you know, for this pile number 2. So the first scenario is that if this is like a relationship that has been going on for a while, they feel that you guys insulted their intelligence, and that's also one of the reasons why they're kind of like backing away and distancing themselves. They might announce it, you know, to you, that they are going to back away because you are such a villain. They're playing the victim right here. I don't see them being such a villain. I don't see you guys being such a villain, because King of Swords can be quite stubborn. They really do believe that they're in the right, and when you guys insulted their intelligence and it kind of like really hurt their pride and their ego, they're making a big show of like, I don't care, I don't need you anyway, and that they just kind of like leave, you know, 8 of Cups. It's hard when you're dealing with somebody who is very, very stubborn and who kind of like feel that they're smarter than anybody. And it's hard when you're dealing with somebody who undermines another person, because I don't really like this King of Swords in this deck of mine, because it's just so, I don't know, holier than thou, smarter than thou type of energy. So every time I get this King of Swords, it's like, oh, goddamn. But yeah, so that's the first scenario. The second scenario could be that this person is an overthinker when it comes to deciding whether or not they want to be in a relationship. And every time they go quiet, so the reason why this person is overthinking, and this I think applies for people who have only been dealing with this person for a very short amount of period of time, so maximum 6 months. Yeah, if you're more than 6 months, then the first irritation is going to be the one for you. But the reason why this person has been moving so slow and probably has been sending you some mixed signals is because this person is overthinker, and the reason why they're an overthinker is because they're very, very anxious. They do think that they're smarter than most people, but you have to understand the reason why they built on that belief is because deep down inside, subconsciously, they think less of themselves, and then they think more highly of other people. So that's kind of like one of the ways for them to, as a self-soothing mechanism, that is like, okay, maybe I'm not rich as the other people, maybe I'm not as pretty or handsome as the other people or anything like that, but I have my intelligence. Yeah, so that's kind of like one of their self-soothing mechanism. And so they overthink things. And the thing is that when they're overthinking things and then there's like a total silence from you, or you're distancing yourself because you're busy with your life or whatnot, they then starting to create some sort of like assumptions inside of their heads about you, because they're pretty pessimistic when it comes to approaching love. They kind of like know that love is not going to work anyway, so they're thinking of the worst things that could happen. And that's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know what I mean? It's like they're manifesting these negative things upon themselves. as well, because when they're overthinking and when they're assuming things, they then created this type of narrative that is going to be enough reason for them to walk away. So they're self-sabotaging themselves a lot here. If you guys are dealing with somebody less than 6 months, this is somebody who really, really likes to self-sabotage themselves. What can you do to help? It's difficult. No matter how much you're trying to convince them, they're always going to be in that sort of mental entrapment that they've always been. The only way for them to change is that they themselves need to change. And it's very, very hard to convince this King of Swords in this particular deck of mine to want to change, because they feel that their way right now is the best way. Yeah, so it's kind of like our Taurus. And it's also the question of like whether or not you feel it's worthy for you to invest that much amount of effort for somebody that you've known less than 6 months. Okay, so now let's move on for those of you who chose pile number 3. Page of Swords, the Chariot, 3 of Swords, and then 7 of Pentacles. This person has been hurt before. They probably already got cheated on by, you know, their past person or whatnot, or they've kind of like experienced or they've witnessed somebody get cheated on. Or maybe they're just watching too much drama. Because I actually have a friend, you know, who's like, oh my God, like I feel that my boyfriend is cheating on me, because this kind of like scenario really, really fits into this drama that this novel that I just read. I was like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, this person has been hurt before, and that kind of like leads to this Page of Swords. Page of Swords is somebody who has like a severe trust issues. Every time people do nice things to them, they're like, oh, why are you nice to me? Why do you love me? Why are you like this? Why do you help me? What do you want from me? Is it really, really genuine? They think that everything in this life is transactional, and all relationship in this life is also transactional as well. So if you help somebody, or if you love somebody, there must be a reason behind it. It could not be that you're just being nice, you know. They question humanity as well. And that leads to, the thing is that, how do they feel about you? They feel the Chariot, so they are very, very intrigued by your Taurus. And they really, really want to, you might be dealing with a Cancer, or you might be dealing with an air sign. But anyway, this person is like, feels so charged up. Like, okay, I want to do something about Taurus. You know, I want to kind of like aim after them, charge after them. I really, really want to, you know, do something about it and everything like that. But the thing is that 75% of themselves like is holding them back. It's my daughter. So 75% of them is holding themselves, 75% of their whole entire mind is just kind of like holding them back. But they're very, very drawn to you emotionally. Kind of like reminded them of their mother, kind of. Something that they missed for a very, very long time. You know, they miss this type of connection. They miss this type of love. But it's just that because they have a severe trust issues and whatnot, that kind of like leads them to become much more of a passive participators in this relationship, where they're just going to wait and see. I'm just going to be doing things that I feel like doing right now. I'm just going to be busy myself. It could be like an anxious, preoccupied type of person, you know, who is just keeping themselves busy, just so that they could distract themselves and divert their attentions of what really is, what their soul is really needing. But they do observe you a lot though, Taurus. They really, really feel that you guys are very, very attractive. I think they kind of like this areas of you. So from the throat, I mean, it's the body part that's ruled by Taurus, right? Like the neck and also in here. They're really, really interested in that part of you. And for some of you, if you guys are guys, it could be your arm. They feel that you guys are very, very attractive, but They really want to come forward and charge after you. But the thing is that, it's just, it's just a habit, you know? Their trust issues, is it worthy or not? They have become their own best friend for quite a while, and it's just hard for them to be much vulnerable to other people. All right? So now let's move on to those of you who chose pile number 4. Queen of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, 6 of Wands in reverse, the High Priestess, 7 of Swords. Leave. It depends, all right? What type of relationship are you looking for? Are you kind of like a conservative or orthodox type of people, or traditional type of people who gets married or settling down with somebody for the sake of settling down, for the sake of like people are not going to gossip about you, for people who are going to look at you nicely and everything like that? Are you that type of people, or are you the type of people who really wants to be happy, who just wants to be happy in life, who just wants to feel fulfilled, who just wants somebody to love and have like this beautiful collective happiness with other person? Depending on what type of person are you. But if you are the latter type of person, you know, the person who really wants some collective happiness, this person is just not good. Because here's the thing, they see you as somebody who there is a potential of settling down with you. Something about you, it could be like your physical attributes, it could be your career, it could be your status, it could be who your parents are, it could be your education background, it could be anything, but they see that as a something that could boost them, kind of. It's like a potential, okay, I see a potential of settling down with you because you're not, you know, it's not going to be an embarrassment for me. Your parents are cool, or you have like a very attractive face. It's going to make me look good. They're not happy in this relationship, and so are you. So the relationship they're looking for from you is a relationship of comfort because of those things that I told you earlier. But they're not happy in this relationship, and so are you. They're getting their happiness elsewhere. Probably from a Pisces woman or from an earth sign woman. That's my daughter. Sorry, guys. Yeah. They're getting their happiness elsewhere. So it's just a relationship of comfort for them. It's just a relationship of a mundane stuff, of a worldly, materialistic stuff. The reason could range from, again, like education background, who your parents are, your status, your success, your physical attractiveness, anything. But that's the reason. This is, I mean, depends, yeah? If that worldly matters and materialistic matters really mean a lot for you, then, I mean, they're not getting this happiness out of this relationship. They're looking at elsewhere. But if you want something that is of collectively happy, this is not the one for you. All right, so I think that is it for my reading for you, Taurus. I hope that you find tons and tons of clarity you've been looking for. And I look forward to seeing you next week for another weekly reading. All right, bye-bye, guys. Have a great day. I love you.